Join our psychedelic smoke sesh as we explore exciting new dimensions of existence, thought, and possibility.
We'll take you out of this world and blaze through infinite realms, while occasionally forgetting what we were saying.
This is Higher Consciousness.
Like we normally do?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna turn on my YouTube personality now.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Welcome to Higher Consciousness Season 3 episode. I forgot because
I have no idea what episode it is. We'll figure it out later.
well, yeah.
I'll edit it and post. Episode 10. Don't worry about it.
But we're really excited. First off, we're really excited to have you guys on this podcast or this show today because I have been searching for couples that are doing this, and I haven't really found very many that are doing this kind of similar concept of coming together and just having a conversation about consciousness, psychedelics, and everything in between. So
it's like higher consciousness, but from a different dimension somewhere.
Yeah, it's like across the world.
Across the pond.
Yeah,
Yes, across the
Right?
pond. As I like to say in Instagram stories. Anyway.
Yeah, so we have mostly nothing from the UK here with us today. Over here.
Yeah, we're very happy to be here, guys. Yeah.
Yes, this is so exciting. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
I'm really happy, when people invite us to do stuff in their shows. It's just, I don't know, it's crazy for us. It's like, why would they want to listen to us?
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. Is I think a lot of us are starting these new shows, and we need to grow an audience. And I think at certain levels, we're kind of like, this is weird. Why isn't anybody gonna listen to this? But that's the whole point,
That's how it goes.
Attracting other people that are like you attracted us to you guys. So we're just happy to have you here. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
So do you want to get into the blessing, or do you want to talk about our topic yet?
Well, we can get into the topic. So today, we'll talk about the topic, then we'll go into the blessing. So I don't know if you are familiar, but every single show I do like a mini Reiki blessing with Mary Jane. And it is, the whole purpose is really to just try to teach people or be helping people kind of see being more mindful and the differences that having that mindfulness can be. It doesn't have to be like a whole thing where you have to bless it every single time, but finding something that works for you. So hoping that this also kind of debunks some of the things that I have found in the marijuana community or the cannabis community. It just seems like we're smoking just to smoke and be, I don't know. It's just,
I feel like it's more recreationally used.
Yeah, which is
like
fine.
mindfully, because I think a lot of people just sort of do it without thinking, because I know in
which
the
is
past,
totally okay.
yeah, like in the past, like for me, I've smoked, for just boredom, like I'm all by myself in my apartment, that kind of thing.
Why are you going to do? Yeah.
Right. But I think that if you do it with more mindful intention, you're actually asking yourself, do I feel like it's a good idea for me to smoke right now? You know what I mean? Versus just like, I'm bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
just like using it more for a way of achieving a level of higher consciousness, like instead of just like, because doing it recreationally is fine and dandy, and I think is definitely
Shit.
and it's medicine for people, but I think there's definitely something to be said by, we've seen it in monks using marijuana.
See nuns using it.
See nuns, yeah, seriously.
Right.
Like during Holi, they drink bang.
Oh yeah, they do. I forgot about the bong.
Yeah, bang, which is a marijuana-based drink that traditionally is only served for like the monks or the hierarchies, but during Holi, everybody gets to partake in it. So, and Jesus also used it, Buddha used it. So just kind of wanting to get back to the the higher consciousness levels.
The original, the OG use.
The OG.
The OG uses.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, I guess that works.
That's what I do on the show. I just cut right to it. Anyway.
Oh, you guys are great.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, yes. I'm ready for the blessing.
Bless,
Okay,
bless,
all right.
All right.
Ready.
How can I help this blessing? Let me close my
Yeah,
eyes.
what can we do?
You can just
You
close
can
your eyes.
close
Good
your eyes
vibes.
and breathe with us. Send your blessings with us if you like. That
Oh,
would
they're
be
coming.
awesome. All right, so let's all take a deep breath together. Ready?
Mhm.
Bless you, Mary Jane, and thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for allowing this alignment with mostly nothing. Today, we're very excited to be having this conversation. May what we speak about today open the minds and the perspectives and the hearts and souls of those who are listening, both for the mostly nothing audience as well as our audience and then some. May our words come out informatively, clearly, and concisely, but may also have a fun and a dope and a psychedelic time. Thank you and amen.
Amen.
Woo.
You did it. She did it.
Cool.
She put dope in. She always manages to get the word dope in there
That's
somewhere.
important.
Nice one.
I'm just
That's a good
waiting for it the
blessing.
whole time. I'm like, when's she gonna say it? It's coming. I know it's. Anyway, I just find
Yeah,
it
that was really cool.
Thank
That
you.
was cool. Yeah, we should do something like this. We have to come up with a ritual. We're just going to copy you guys now.
Yeah,
Just
you
That's
just sent me
fine.
that script. That was it's a nice one.
That's cool. You can feel free to
Thank
copy
you.
whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Even my book
I
here.
mean, the same. Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't have much to be copied, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you guys
It's
will
fine.
say, I will say you guys have a way better equipment setup than what we have.
Well,
This genius right over
Well,
here. He's
I don't know, I just-
a whiz.
Because I play guitar, so I had the equipment like to record music. I had a couple of microphones around. Then we got these ones because these ones are more appropriate for actual
Super
podcasting.
sweet.
right.
But yeah, but you can get everything actually pretty cheap. It's not expensive at all.
Yeah. Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Nah, if you guys need any assistance with it, just drop us an email. You know, I can even tell you all the gear we have and prices and everything. You know,
Sweet.
it's fine. It
Sounds
honestly,
awesome.
Yeah. Oh my
Cool.
God. Yes, please. Because we'll definitely hit you up with that. I think for
For
sure.
sure.
yeah,
So-
yeah, you guys got our email now, so you know,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
drop us a message.
Yeah. I have a feeling we'll be meeting again. I don't think this will be our last time.
No.
Nah,
no.
probably not.
You don't meet by accident.
Yeah, exactly. You
True.
never meet by accident. Why don't you get started so I can get started with this?
Oh, I see how it is. Yeah,
I like your
You want to
thinking.
get stuck. She's over here like, oh, my turn.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you do your thing. Let me just. I'm busy.
So we are here today to talk about something that is very much part of our lives. I believe you guys have talked about it on your podcast as well. Our little baby friend, the magic mushroom. Magic mushrooms come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. We've previously talked about that on our show, and I'm sure we're going to get into that much more on this one. But I know that for Liz and myself, we recently had an experience that was just unlike any experience we've ever had.
The most intense experience.
Just out of this freaking world. And the other interesting thing was it was totally just separate. Like I had a totally different experience than she did. And we never had that before. Usually we have pretty similar trips.
Well, we've had a trip where they were very different before,
Well,
but it wasn't
not
this
like that.
extreme.
Not like we're the
Yeah.
odd couple. We're like, I'm like messing up the house like crazy and you're like, I gotta clean it up. Yeah, I know. I'm old. I understand. My references are from
That sounds like me. I'm always worrying about everyone. I'm like, what is everyone doing? Is he going to jump out of the balcony? Why is
right.
he outside?
Juliana, go
Does
in
he want to
there.
jump? You know, it's like.
Yeah.
You gotta
You
talk down from the ledge. Don't do
That's
it.
why we
man.
decided we don't want to do it in like big groups.
No.
Oh yeah. I don't think. Have you?
No,
Ever,
it wasn't a big group.
oh yeah.
It was really.
But not
It was.
not again. No.
It was. I mean, for me, it was a very big group.
How big? How
But
big?
big being for like 5 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, no. I mean, yeah, not again. Not that. I think a lower dosage, a lot lower, maybe.
a lot lower. Yeah.
But no.
How
Yeah.
much did you guys take in this last one?
So it was a gram and a half.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Right?
it's about 1.5 grams, I would
But
say.
it was
Something
the
like
strain called which I would love to hear about your guys' shroom trips and things like that too.
Oh, yeah.
We're very curious.
I mean,
about
you guys
that.
are the guests,
Yeah.
so we want you to talk as much as possible. Give us a
We'll
break
try.
for a second.
We'll let you know whatever you want to know. Yeah.
Yeah. But to answer your question, we had what was called penis envy mushrooms, which I don't.
There's no water in this.
I've heard of it.
It was a little.
What is
weird.
happening? There's no water in here.
I thought you were gonna finish packing it.
Bush league, Liz. Bush league.
Okay.
Excuse me while I fill this with water.
This is a whole new concept of podcasting. I absolutely love it.
This is cool.
Yeah, it is a whole new. Even for us, it's a whole new. Like the video part is like a newer thing for us. But so you're familiar with penis envy mushrooms?
Not familiar, but I have heard of it because I've looked into, all the different types, especially before trying myself. And I have come across that, but I haven't tried it. No.
It is intense. It is. So, I mean, they're not joking when they say it is level 5 of a mushroom trip. Like
That's no joke.
it is like, yeah, it is seriously like absolutely no joke whatsoever. Like this one, you need to be like either you need to be prepared to do it or do a lower dose. Like I know next time I definitely do not want to do another 1.5 grams just because
I wouldn't mind it.
Well, you wouldn't mind it.
It's like, it's all right.
I had a good time.
Yeah, he
Well,
did though.
it did. That's the thing
That's the
is,
thing though.
I had a fantastic time, and Liz had a more very personal, emotional, introspective.
Very internal. Yeah.
Heavy,
Yeah,
very
what was like,
internal.
Liz basically traveled through space,
Yeah.
and I became a 10-year-old child making
Right.
art for like 3 hours. So
Oh, that's cool, huh?
That's
it
it.
was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was well, yeah, and that was really like sad for me because it's like, well, so I do a lot of dream work and I do a lot of moon work, and so it definitely reflected in my mushroom trip because the moment that they hit, and the other thing about these mushrooms in particular too is you can feel it going through your system. Like you can feel it moments before the trip starts. You can like it just
Waves.
has this like bottom of the pit hitting kind of feeling in your stomach.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, here you go. And then it just becomes a thing where for me, because of all the dream work and all the moon stuff, I couldn't keep my eyes open and I needed to be constantly warm because I was really, really cold. And a lot of it was like in a dream state for me. Because I couldn't like be in the physical world. So like I think quite literally the mushrooms hit and my spirit just took off and like left my body because my body could not handle it. And I'm very sensitive as it is. I can already feel things, I think, more than I think is what I think people would perceive normal. And the penis envy mushrooms, quite literally, I would say was like working with spirit in raw form. So all of your filters that you didn't even know that you had and the filters that you knew that you have of being on this planet and being a human being are just removed completely. So like you feel everything at the same time at once, and it's like so intense. Like for me, my body was like just doing this because it was I could feel him, I could feel his feelings and emotions and what he was thinking. I could feel the grass, I could feel it growing. I could feel me like on this earth at this place, but also at the same time feel like we're on the spaceship spinning around on this solar planet. But it's like, and I felt those things before, but this was like a whole new level. This was like, I could quite literally feel it and my body just could not handle it. And I did like spend a lot of my time in space, which was why I think I was so cold the whole trip, because I quite literally could not get warm. I think I was literally experiencing that. The other thing too is your thoughts. Like the moment that you had a thought, boom, it would manifest. So, or you would see it immediately or something. So for me, it was really
So very visual also.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
terms of hallucinations and everything.
Yeah.
You're just in it.
Yeah,
that's
very in it.
For sure.
But
But
it was
you guys,
healing.
I want
Yeah.
to know about your trick.
Well, with us, we've mostly done golden teachers, wasn't it?
I've
Most.
only done golden teachers.
I think I've only done golden
it's
teachers.
yeah, it's because it was the first thing I ever did in truffle form was golden teachers, and I don't know. I think I just I'm still trying. I'm trying to take it really easy, and I really enjoy golden teachers. I think they are what they say on the tin. They are teachers, and they're very internal,
Very.
and they teach you what you need to know, what you want to know, what you need to know, and especially when you take a high dose of them. So we've only stuck with golden teachers.
Yeah, the first time I had it was the truffles. I had it with you. It was golden teacher truffles, but then we had mushrooms, and they were also golden teachers.
Yeah.
They're very good. I felt it helped me to work on my ego a lot, and I think that was my main intention with it. It was kind of like, come down to earth a bit more, look at other people in a different way, not being so focused on just my individual. It helps you feel less separated from everyone else. Definitely that it helped me in that sense.
Sure.
Definitely, but I don't think I've ever had one of those experiences
Ego deaths.
where like I have an ego death, because I think sometimes I'm a bit too anxious, so I can be a bit resilient to it, like a bit resistant to it, right? When you feel like your ego is going, but you kind of not like, no, just come back here.
Yeah.
And then you kind of open your eyes, you go around, you walk a bit, and you see. So yeah, I still waiting.
But that's the thing.
I'm getting ready.
Yeah, you have to allow yourself to really go in and penetrate that right. You have to allow that. That's a decision you make, and until you make that decision, I don't think you can really see what's on the other side.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, it's really tough to allow yourself. I mean,
Tough,
you feel
isn't it?
like you're dying. You literally have to agree to die in a
To
sense.
die. Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that I've gotten through to that space just yet. I mean, I was in it a little bit.
That last one
I
was
guess
definitely an ego death.
I would say it was an ego death for me in the sense that like I reverted back to being a child. So like my concern about finances, my concern about my status, how other people thought of me, anything that was exterior was gone. It was just me, nothing else.
Boom.
And it allowed me to remember I loved just making art, and it doesn't have to be anything. It can just be me playing around. And that was the most amazing experience for me. Was I had an experience where I detached from my hand, where my hand was moving and I wasn't controlling it. I was just watching. And it would literally move as if it was connected to a computer where it was going through a program. It would hit an edge and go around into the center and then back out again. And then it would start to do other circles like it was trying to make fundamental universal patterns. And it was just trying to communicate that way to me, almost like it was talking to me, through my hand. It was super weird.
Were you painting the walls like the kids do?
Yeah, it's such
that would be fun.
Like I was running around the house like a madman.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because I had so much energy,
Yeah.
and every thought that popped in my head was a new thought. So I was like, dude, I could do that, or I could do that, or I could do this. And then I kept thinking, wait, no, hold on.
It was like,
You need to calm yourself. Like you're gonna pop your heart if you run that fast, or if you keep going at this rate. But I remember saying at one point that I was very much within my own cognizance. So like if someone talked to me, I could communicate, but I was very much not in the driver's seat. There was another inner child that came out and just took over for a while and was doing whatever it wanted to do. So
yeah, I remember that feeling, being a kid again.
I love that. I really
definitely
love
went
that
through
about
that,
it.
and it was amazing. It's just like you just gets to everything suddenly is fascinating again. I remember just staring at my hands for like half an hour because I was just so it's like your fingertips. It's like, oh my God, look at this. How is this possible? And we can touch things and we can feel things. You know, it's like everything becomes so surprising again, isn't it?
Mhm.
And
Like you're
yeah,
seeing it for
I
the
think
first
that was
time.
my favorite part of yeah, getting into psychedelics, having a few experiences. I mean, yeah, personally, I think that was my I don't know, favorite part of it. I don't know
Yeah.
about you. You, I mean, with your ayahuasca, because Juliet's also, she's also done ayahuasca. So that's you know, that's a whole
We haven't done
different,
that yet.
We haven't done that yet,
different
but it
thing.
is on.
We have friends that have,
Yeah,
but we haven't.
but it's on my to-do list. It's on my I definitely want to do it.
That's actually how the reason I first tried psilocybin was because I was going to be doing ayahuasca and I had never ever tried, you know, any form of psychedelic or
Going from 0 to freaking
Right.
100.
Yeah, basically.
Right. And that's what I was going to be really doing until I really thought about it. And yeah, it was actually my first psilocybin trip was with my mom, and you know, it was like a family.
No
With
way.
your mom too?
Yep. My mom and them too.
Yeah,
Wow.
very modern family. Tell me.
Very, very lucky. And
Her
it
mom, she's a legend. I don't know, she's a legend.
I feel
shout
it.
out.
I love that lady. Shout out to you.
Wow.
But it changed her life too. It completely changed. I watched, you know, we as a family bonded to an extent that we have never bonded before, and it was remarkable. I think there and then we all realized, you know, the powers of these incredible tools, and that, you know, we would continue looking into this, and it wasn't something that was just going to be, you know, thrown out the door. And then obviously after ayahuasca, well, I mean, you don't really turn back after experiencing something like that. So yeah.
You know, could you? Yeah.
No, not after.
And it was like, yeah, you had that first experience, and then we kind of, yeah, my first experience was also was just me and Julieta, because before meeting her, I mean, I had heard about psychedelics, you know, Joe Rogan, all that stuff, DMT, this, ayahuasca, that. So, you know, I was kind of curious about it. But then after meeting Julieta, that's when we
I
kind
was
of,
like, come to the dark side.
yeah, that's that's where that's where we went when, yeah, we really went for it. But it's been an amazing journey. All that we've learned, it's not just about taking the drug. It's learning about all that it brings, and all, you know, the research that has been done, all the science that's now, the
history.
new science, the history behind it, and
yeah.
how different people use it, different tribes, and you know, it's, yeah, it's
The potential for it, I think, is just so
yeah,
exciting.
huge potential. And now I guess it's just a problem that it's becoming a bit more mainstream, and I guess a lot of people, maybe, I don't know, maybe they won't use it with the best intentions, or, you know, I think now there's going to be a lot of money in this, so there's going to be a lot of interest that might not be fully honest, you know.
That's the reality of the world that we live in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we live in a world where we can't experience everything. We are all one, just different facets of the one.
Mhm.
So in a way, I think we should be allowed sovereignty to be able to make bad decisions with all due respect. You know, I mean, good
100%.
decisions are the best, easiest, fastest way to fulfill your purpose. Well, maybe not necessarily good decisions, because bad decisions too,
I was
because
gonna say,
your
bad
purpose might
decisions
be
are
to be
also
bad.
lessons in there.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
so,
I don't think nobody comes here. I feel like I hate using the word bad. Like, no one comes here to be bad. Like, I think
but it
people
is
come
what it
here,
is, though, isn't it?
which
Like,
I like to say
there's
different levels of
goods
frequencies, because
there's things that like are helpful and things that are not helpful. Is that
Mhm.
better?
yes.
I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to like
Well,
understand the term
I
now,
guess,
because that's
like,
part of higher consciousness.
I
is,
guess
like,
I just-
understand how we speak
Yeah.
and what that really
What
means,
it
how we're
means.
communicating.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Well, I guess like when I hear bad, like I think we need to like have more compassion for people and and saying bad is
And
like
yourself.
right. Saying bad, like I don't know, like when it comes off that way, I think it just makes me feel like, hold on, you're like, what if they just need like, see, I'm a healer, so I always come from like a healer's perspective. Like, what if there's like lots of fear or trauma or other things?
Sure.
Like, I think it's just we come here to experience different spectrums of love. And we know that love goes to the highest level of love and abundance and gratitude, essentially, to fear and sadness and hate and all of those things.
Right.
So
Or
yeah,
lack
we
of
could
love.
come, or lack of love. And I think
It's
we
just a
all,
spectrum, isn't it? It's like
yeah,
it's
it's
part
a
of life.
spectrum.
Right.
Right.
So
So
within
I guess
that,
I like to look at it. It's a
Right.
spectrum.
and within that, there's going to be a spectrum within the marijuana community, within in industry, and within
Exactly.
the psilocybin industry, which is up and coming. I mean, there's
Yes.
states that are already starting to decriminalize it and legalize it.
Yep, we have a
Yeah.
city here that recently decriminalized
Yeah,
it.
Ann Arbor, Michigan, they just decriminalized it. And they're a pioneering kind of liberal area that decriminalized marijuana long before it became legal here. But
And now New York, right? You told me, Julieta.
Marijuana.
Marijuana, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
In New York, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're also legalizing.
Yeah, that was big news for sure.
That's
So,
huge news.
And that's
Oh
the
my
thing
God.
is, as soon as it hits a certain number, it's just gonna roll over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come on, UK,
And
hurry up.
Europe will then follow very likely. I mean, we believe over the next
TikTok.
probably, what do you think, 5 to 10 years?
Marijuana?
Yeah.
I think less than 5. If
I don't know.
Brian becomes mayor, quick.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a few challenges I think in this
Oh, yeah,
country
there are a few
and
challenges.
in Europe in general. I don't know. I think some of our societies, they're still very conservative, very old school in a lot of ways. Even like Portugal, like my country. I mean, we decriminalized all drugs and stuff. I mean, you don't go to jail if you have some weed on you. I mean, you can even have cocaine or heroin on you. You don't go to jail unless if you have like
Even
half a
magic
kilo of
mushies.
it, then
Yeah.
you'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
But still, people, they still kind of look sideways, to weed in general, even just smoking. Yeah. So I think it's going to take a bit longer.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's coming. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. Really.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Generations are taking over. We're getting older. We're starting to have more of a voice,
Right.
which does make a difference. In the end, I think that's the main thing. We kind of have to wait for the older generations to kind of it's the natural process.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, it really
It's
is. And it's funny because I was looking at my Facebook about 3 years ago around this time. I was actually in London. So,
Wow.
and I remember being there that it was very old and very like
All the energy was just.
the energy of being there was different. So, and actually that was going to be one of my questions of like how your current country like kind of views all of this. So it's really interesting to hear that there's still, because I guess I would have thought there be a little bit more of a open perspective because you're Europe. But
we have a view of Europeans and the Americans or the American country about you guys being more liberal and doing whatever you want on TV and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I guess we
Yes
kind of
and
think the
no.
opposite in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah.
It's funny. We're like Americans.
I
like,
almost,
fuck yeah, freedom.
yes, it's literally like, I think we have an illusion of freedom, but it's not there. We're fighting for it. I'm literally screaming at the top of my lungs currently, trying to really, voice. And I think this is why we do the podcast as well.
Yeah.
We need to be using our voices and.
Yeah, because the most important thing behind all of this we're talking about is education. You see, if people are educated about something and they actually know why people decide to, let's say, smoke marijuana or take a psychedelic, people really understand what's the reasoning, behind it. I think it becomes much easier to accept. But, that won't happen if we don't get the information out there.
And we have a big problem with like freedom of speech here at the moment. And without that, you can't educate. How do you educate people about things when there's certain things that you just can't even put out there?
Even say
without getting cancelled and it's just
That's right.
That's
getting in trouble.
Sad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing your voices and your magic to the world. It's all part of the growing
guys.
consciousness.
Well,
So
you got to take risks and put yourself out
Yeah.
there to say this is me and this is what I believe in, and I think things like that ultimately attract other people, obviously, and together we have a larger voice and we have more power. So the more we have, the more power we have.
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
People are waking up
Yeah.
People are waking up with this pandemic, especially. I think a lot of people are fed up with many things, and I think hopefully something good is going to come out.
Oh well.
Of
It will. Yeah.
For sure.
all of this drama.
Yeah.
Well, it's always funny
It's
to
a
me.
cleanse essentially, or it's like it's an awakening and a cleanse at the same time. It's to get us to realize like, okay, there's some stuff that we still need to address. There's people who are still in illusion, especially in America when it comes to like racism, things
Jesus.
like that. There's still things that we need to like really face the truth. We're also like, you know, entering a new age, like astrology wise too. So we are quite literally entering this new era, and COVID was essentially, I think, is here to wake us up, but it's like a harsh awakening. It's like it's like the Mother Earth, when Mother Earth, she doesn't play, like when she is, you know, doing some, I don't know, like Mother Earth, I feel like is very loving and abundant, but it's also, you know, trying to get our attention to get us to realize certain things, to make these changes so that other things that have been happening don't continue. Because Mother Earth doesn't just fight for, you know, the animals and the earth and the land itself. She also fights for the people too. And this is, I think, a way in a really weird way, a form of it, but it doesn't dismiss the tragedy and the sadness and all the deaths and everything that have happened too. But that is what disease is just a disconnection from, I think, the all and the knowing of that love. And so I do feel like there will be something very good that will come out of it. It just may take time, and it's also going to take
a few
people
years.
years and time, and people speaking up, and people, you know, going against the grain, taking leaps of faith.
But I think that's all the more reason.
That's all the
to,
more
like,
reason to do it.
Create a new industry. You know,
Yeah.
like, these types of things are. Marijuana is already proven that it's being, you know, a moneymaker. It's bringing in millions of dollars for states across our country. So I would imagine like adding more of that into the market in order to not only help the people to evolve and to help them deal with their traumas, but also to be studied for other uses, you know, because these things can be used in other ways to help, you know, with Alzheimer's, for neural connectivity. Like, that's the amazing thing about mushrooms. Like, they're like an alien substance. They're like really far out. They are one of the most unique substances on the planet.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, all the research has been done. Here in London, they're doing a lot of research in Imperial College.
Yeah.
And they're now experimenting with microdosing, which seems, you know, it's promising. But I guess they've had a few studies where they can really differentiate the effect between, like, let's say, the placebo and the actual microdose.
Right.
But that's still, you know, it's still, they need more data, basically.
It's still very fresh. It's so fresh.
Still very fresh, but I think it's very promising.
Yeah.
And in the future, especially to treat, let's say, PTSD, depression, all these things, this could be big. Could be really big.
Yeah, I think it will happen. I definitely think it will happen.
Sure.
And I'm very excited because I know for me, one of the things that we want to do together is essentially kind of build an earthship that we're going to utilize as like a spiritual.
Or is there? Oh, there it is. You're hiding it back there.
Teaching temple. It's okay. But also like an art gallery and a place of education to, like, you know, basically like the podcast, but in building pyramid Merkaba form. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to basically be like a mushroom, you know,
shaman.
Yeah, basically do like what a mushroom shaman does and lead people through these trips to help them heal and to address.
You'd be fantastic at that.
Thank
and,
you.
and the thing is, in the future, they're going to open, you know, many more like courses for therapists and even like trip sitters. I think that's going to become more and more popular. Yeah, trip sitters. Yeah, it's the thing they use, isn't it? It's the term
they
use
that here. Yeah.
I've never heard that
That's so
before.
cool.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, trip sitter. And the thing is that I think there's going to be a lot of training available in that area in the near future, even before it becomes actually legalized, because to run the experiments, to do the research, they will need people, if you want to have more, more subjects, a bigger
Yeah,
group,
more
a
people that
study
people like
population, you'll need
right.
more therapists. So,
Mhm.
keep an eye out, because I think there's going to be many, many great chances, opportunities. That's what I mean.
Oh, I definitely. And if not, I'm gonna make the opportunity myself.
Of
So
course.
There you go.
like
Great.
That's how you do
determined
it.
one way or another.
We shall
to do
create
it.
That's how you do it.
Yes, yes. Well, because I wanted to be, I have a very specific like idea in mind. So I'm very curious. How many times have each of you had mushrooms?
Ooh.
Not many
Intimate
times, actually.
questions.
I probably did it like 4 times. I don't know.
Okay.
Probably.
That's a good amount.
Well, I've done it like what, maybe twice, 3 times more than you.
Yeah. Maybe
Maybe
twice. Maybe twice more. Because then, well, the ayahuasca, that counts as 100 times.
I was gonna say, yeah, you picked
So
up
you see-
a big
Yeah,
box
you picked
there.
up a big,
Big box on the
really
list.
awesome.
Yeah, for like a handful of times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, the dosage, I guess the biggest one we had was with 4 grams. I mean, my favorite one was
Yeah.
was with 1.5. That was the best one, where I don't know, I still felt I could still be in control, and I was just enjoying the moment, enjoying the music, and everything I was feeling. Because with 4 grams, it got a bit out of hand, like.
Well,
Yeah.
I done 4 grams as well when I did it with my sister.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
and I had an incredible time. But that's when it was like with people, I guess, too many people.
Yeah, it's the
So
context.
it's
the
set and
context.
setting, isn't it? It's set and
Yeah,
setting.
set and setting is
Absolutely.
everything.
And your mind, where you're at.
Right,
with your own
exactly.
head.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I definitely experienced a bit of psychosis.
Oh,
Like-
me too. When that's
Like a little bit.
you
Yeah.
merge realities, when you're and it
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah. So everything is just like
It's
Yeah.
tough
And
for the brain
you
to
weren't having a great
Yeah.
time, and that was even making me more worried.
uh,
And then I was kind of trying to help her.
I felt like I was getting trapped
while
in. Everything was
having-
closing in on me.
I was
Oh,
trying my
God.
best to stay in control to help her, but at the same time, I felt like I really wasn't controlling anything.
Like you, Liz,
Yeah.
I'm quite a sensitive person to some degree. I think especially when you put something like that in me, where I can't have that filter and there's nothing for me to pretend anymore. So it all comes out, and I mean, yeah, especially if it's over like 1.5 grams, there will be some waterworks. I always have something to work out in myself, and it will always come out.
And that's fine.
And
that's
it's fine, and that's
It's
why I
about-
love them so much, because it forces me to face it. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, I keep it inside, and it just, that destroys you. That
Yeah.
destroys you.
That's
Yeah. And it
slowly,
can,
but
it can
surely.
create disease in the body, and it can create
Yes.
and it's just energy that's built up and stored up. What did you drop?
Did you drop the
my
bong? Oh, okay. No, yeah, I thought you dropped the bong. I was
No,
going
the
to say,
bong
oh,
is there. The
no.
bong is there.
Thing cost me $1,000.
The bong is safe.
Oh,
Is that the bong?
yeah, it definitely does force
Oh, yeah.
those things to come up for healing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think they're ultimately meant for and used
Mm.
for. What was I gonna say? So I know that like my last trip, it got to a point where I could feel love on every level. And it was like intense. It was like I could not control my crying. I could not control my feelings, and I was just like, I feel so much love everywhere. And I just love you, and I'm so grateful, but I'm so sad for those who don't feel love. And it's just like, it was just like, but it was like intense. Like by the time that the trip was over, my eyes were so swollen that they were almost swollen shut because I had cried so intensely and so hard. And I had some other personal things that came up with it too, but I just remember that feeling. It was just the love that I felt all around, but it was like so overwhelming that I couldn't help but cry, because
Yeah.
that was the only way I could like process like what was happening,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
But
But what a relief, it feels once essentially you're purging,
Yeah.
and you really, you feel so much lighter afterwards, don't you, once it's all out.
But,
yeah,
I really feel I need to do it in a that kind of environment where there's literally no one around. I mean, no one. When I say no one, it can be, let's say, just me and you. Because
So
the
you
thing
can't
is,
scream, yeah.
I'm very conscious. Imagine if I'm in my flat, I know I have my neighbors, and I know there's people nearby, and it's kind of, yeah, I become very very resistant to the idea of just kind of letting it go, because I'm always like, oh my god, I'm going to make too much noise and this is going to be a disaster and the police will show up. No, it is with mushrooms, like they can make you very paranoid, and if you start feeding those thoughts, and I think that bad trip I had with the 4 grams, I think that was really the cause, because I was so worried about the people around me. And you know, we were in the 5th floor or something, so it's like even worse, you know. And it's like, oh my god, if someone's going to jump, everyone's going nuts.
Oh boy!
I just remember halfway through the trip, like I'm literally, I don't know, I'm going through internal stuff. The walls are coming down on me, and I just CDO come up to me like forcing, like, I don't know what it was, like raspberries down my throat, like eat, like we need to get out of this. And I was like, oh, what?
Then me and a friend, we were like, okay, we need to stop. We need to start feeding people, like to come out of the trip. But the thing is, we were also tripping, so
and you know those waves come in, and it's like you have a certain time where you could do something, and you're about to do it, and then you go in again, and you're like, damn
it's
it,
a very short time window. It's a very short time window where you come down, and it's like, all right, get food. Let's you know, before it comes again, let's feed 2 people.
That is so right. That is exactly, like, that's a really good way of describing it.
Oh yeah, it's waves. It's just
and it's cool when you can conjoin into the waves. So like I've been there before with Diogo. You know, when you do it as a couple and you're close to that person, you can go into the waves together. You
sink.
You can sink in and ride along together. It's amazing that you can do that.
Yeah, have you had when you're not sync, that's when it becomes a bit. Yeah,
it can become messy.
It can become messy, a bit uncomfortable, because you know one person is kind of wants to chill and be in a corner, and the other person is probably going hyper.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what happens.
Because sometimes you feel like listening to music while tripping. Other times you just want silence, you want quietness, and it becomes hard when you have people not syncing in that respect, and that ends up affecting each other's trip. So there's definitely a few things to consider, you know, for the people out there before you do it, you know. Because like we say, it's not for everyone. At the end of the day, it really isn't, and people should know that. Because nowadays we hear a lot of these, you know, phony gurus just you know, preaching about it like it's a miracle drug that's going to heal everyone in the world, and it really isn't like that, because then again, it's not going to be effective with every single person. And I guess the trick is to understand that is to kind of know, okay, who can do it and who shouldn't do it.
Sure.
Really? Right?
Yeah. I think, and you know, you have to be in a certain mindset for that stuff, because as you know, if you're not ready for that, if you're really not ready for that, then it can be too much.
It can be too much.
Right. And it can do the opposite of what the intention essentially is. That's why, like, you know, I'm sure when you got on your ayahuasca trip, you were asked a shit ton of questions. And I know, like, for me, when I get to that point, I'm going to be asking, it's going to be like these long interview processes. I want to know, like, why do you want this? What is your background? What is your history? Like, you know, medical things, like it's going to have to be a thing, because for one, you need to make sure that if people are going to do it, if being in that teacher role, but like what you're saying too, it's not meant for everybody to like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go and take this mushroom and like hope for the best. It's like, no, like you can't do that. Like it like dismisses the point and the purpose, and I think even like the sacredness that
it must be respected.
It's not like, I don't really see it as a recreational drug so much. I mean, I know people use it recreationally, but like, you know, I used it recreationally, I would say.
Oh, this is a nice phone ball. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I think I've used it just recreationally like twice when I was first doing it. And the first time was great, because I think it was just my introduction to it, and it was a perfect amount, you know, and you know, I was with a friend of mine, and I was outside at night, so I was just like really enthralled by everything, especially the stars. The stars are just, I don't know, have you guys ever looked up at the stars while you're tripping?
Well, it's very rare that we can actually see the stars.
Yeah, you can't. Right.
There's too much smog.
I was gonna say, you guys...
I've definitely looked at like clouds in the sky. I'm a big fan of looking up, but I just don't think it's ever been night because I always try to do it like in the daytime, because it's such a long
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, pretend no, not seeing the stars.
Oh my gosh,
You
you
that,
have,
I love the
you
stars.
have to do it like while
At
you're
some
tripping
point,
on
like,
at some
make a
point,
trip to do a
make
trip.
it, yeah. Maybe
Somewhere where there's
Yeah.
stars.
maybe by the
I have
time
a feeling
that
like
you
I need
guys
to do
are
this.
ready, we'll have our thing ready. You guys can fly over here
Yeah.
and I will guide you and it
We'll
will
go up
be
north.
Oh,
no, or
definitely.
we'll just have we plan on buying like a plot of
Somewhere.
land somewhere that
Right.
has like woodsy areas where we can kind of see the stars. But
Oh, how beautiful.
oh my goodness, yes, you have to.
You
It's
see
like
galaxies, you see wormholes,
you
you
see
Oh,
grids.
grids.
sure.
You see,
see it,
like it's a
it's
whole
insane.
different,
It's
like
insane.
it's a whole different. Now,
Wow.
the other thing too is, set and setting are really important too. And if you're afraid of the dark a little bit,
You're still gonna see shadow people.
you may see, shadow
Possible.
people or, nature spirits like to come out a lot at nighttime too and things like that. So it is definitely very much like Alice in Wonderland. Kind
We're
of,
all mad here.
yeah.
Yeah.
but it's honestly so fun. I know my first mushroom trip was at a music festival.
Festival?
Festival.
I
didn't say that,
Yeah,
did I?
you repeated. I'm pretty sure I
Damn
heard
it.
it.
Festival. Festival.
I got you.
It's Mary Jane. Words sometimes don't come out.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't work.
We're always correcting each other. It's good. You need it. It's
Yeah, we
helpful.
do.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's fun
nice.
for the show to like break it up.
Exactly.
you know?
For the show.
I think it is. I think it's more fun because
Oh, the
I mean
name
you're
for the
talking
show,
about
yes.
like mushrooms for like an hour, right? But it's
Yeah.
I think fun every once in a while when
Oh,
something
yeah,
goes
it
wrong to
is.
point it out and be like.
Yeah, we're still humans,
Yeah,
Yeah, we are
yeah.
still human.
And that's
Right.
like, I mean, I look at it as like a more authentic part of the show because for us, like this is what we do with our friends if we're just hanging out in a circle,
Yeah.
passing the joint or passing the bone, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody makes a mistake, I'm gonna point that shit out, So
Thank you.
that was
That was
super
good.
meta.
I'm gonna do
That
Right
is
here.
coming, that future with 3D printing or something. They
Hurry
have,
up.
They have to come up with something like
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that'd be dope.
so we-
yeah, items like that. That would be cool.
Right.
Yeah. But mine
Sick.
mine was at a music festival and I was with I think like 15 different people
Yeah.
in my
That's a lot.
group. And it was great though, even
Well,
there,
you had different people had different experiences.
yes, there were some people that had some experiences that unfortunately led them to not be with the group
To
anymore.
the medical tent.
But that's okay. We don't need to get into
But it's
We
okay.
don't need to get into that.
It's all right.
Because it was just a really bad time. And for me, I was like, the only thing that I was fascinated about was like the colors really, really like heightened. And you're at a music festival, so you're like and it's like not just like it was like a very chill, very bluegrassy, kind of very up north.
Not like a wait,
yeah,
wait.
no,
Not like a
yeah, not like one of those festivals.
no, not like that.
It was very
awesome.
like there were kids there, they were, and like you were allowed to bring your own drinks into the festival because everyone was just like so
It's
like
Boom
okay.
Festival in Portugal.
Hmm.
But you
Yeah,
can
most
take
festivals-
Boom Festival in Portugal. You can take your own. They test your drugs before you go in, just to make sure it's good stuff.
No,
Just to make
freaking
sure
way,
it's
that's
not-
awesome.
way.
Yeah, they
Wow,
test
that's-
for chemicals just
See,
to make
that's
sure
what-
it doesn't have anything that might.
That's not what you want, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
what we should have,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, you just
Get on it.
without
America.
going into too much detail, just hope something shows up
Yeah,
or
I feel you.
other things.
My one ear
So,
doesn't wanna stay.
what'd you say?
My one ear doesn't want to stay. It keeps wanting to like float backwards. So,
This is kind of like our Eastery episode.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm
god,
Oh,
it is
yeah.
Easter weekend. I've just lost track of time.
We
I
lose, we
know,
lose track of these
ever since
festivities.
COVID and stuff.
Easter weekend.
But I remember being very fascinated with the stars. And I remember like there was like
Oh.
stuff that was going down. And I just remember just like I was so fixated on the stars that I just remember thinking like there's so many people involved with this. I'm not really gonna be helpful. So I'm just gonna stay here and look at the stars. And like everyone is like I felt bad, but there was quite literally nothing I could do, and I knew that everything was gonna be okay. And it was also my first time too, so I think wanted to experience that, especially. But it's like when you're with the stars and on mushrooms, it's like the stars have moved closer to you. You feel like they're touching you. You could see the grid of like between the earth and space. You can quite literally even sometimes see space. It's like crazy. It is like, and you feel
so
like,
you guys believe the space is real?
Yes.
Oh yes.
We believe
right,
space
cool.
is real. Yeah.
Because not long ago we had a flat earther, so it was very interesting that time.
No way. That's awesome.
They got moon rock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, you should check. It was just a couple of episodes ago. It was Dave.
David Wees, yeah.
David.
Okay.
David Wees.
Oh my goodness.
So I was just
I got really into the flat Earth like idea. I mean, not that I like believed it, but just the fact that others did, and I was just like so
now.
I was so fascinated by it, and because like to me honestly, and this is all I'm going to say about it. Like, all you need to understand is that the sun goes down the horizon. It goes under the horizon line. Like, their models have it like going like around like this. Like, the sun would never go underneath the horizon line if the sun was constantly like going around up like this. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no effing sense to me.
They're missing a few details.
But yeah, they're missing like a lot of details. That's just one for me, you know, amongst others. But anyway.
Yeah. Sorry. I digress.
It's all right. I get heated.
It's okay.
I get heated sometimes. People
It's okay.
bring out flat Earth.
It's okay.
Like,
It was a great episode.
It was great. It was fun. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
I'd be very curious to listen to it, because I'm always just curious about, like, you know, hearing what people think and you know why.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we did it.
Yeah,
we were like, we want to know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we know we're on, you know. No, let's find out.
Freedom of speech. Everyone should have the right to say what they
I'm curious.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but
So I have a other question for you.
Sure.
So I know that you've done ayahuasca. Have you done any other psychedelics besides mushrooms? Even though mushrooms is the main topic, I'm just curious.
No, just psilocybin.
When I was doing the ayahuasca, we had opportunity to smoke DMT, but I just don't think I did it properly. I mean, like,
okay.
I don't know. It just, I mean, at the same time, like I don't know if it was even the right time to do it, because I was literally, you know, going through 6 drinks of ayahuasca.
Oh, geez,
That's a lot.
But yeah, I don't think I did that properly, but I attempted it. But no, we haven't.
No, just psilocybin really.
No.
And even, I mean, you smoke DMT, but ayahuasca, the active substance
but
also
it's
DMT.
different. I think smoking DMT, it's a different kind of trip, isn't
like
it?
Joe
it's
said, you get a bit wonky.
It's quick. It's like
you get that. Yeah, it's like a sprint. You know?
Like a rocket ship up. You know how mushrooms, they guide you, they lead you. It's slow. You know, it's coming. You know, DMT, boom, and you know you're up there. You're in there 20 minutes, but you feel like you're there for like years. But I'd like to, you know, give that another shot.
Yeah,
I'm definitely interested in ayahuasca eventually. I'm not in a rush to do it, because then again, I want to have very good reasons, and I want the timing to be right.
Yeah.
And obviously, you find the right people to do it with, in terms of who's organizing the retreat or whatever. You know, I think that's very important. But it's definitely something that it's.
I would like to
in
try
our
peyote.
plans.
I would like to try peyote.
Peyote.
Yeah.
You guys?
No, I don't think we ever tried. Well, I haven't tried peyote. I don't know if you tried it.
Peyote is masculine, right?
I have tried more things than you have.
So what have you tried? Tell us. Give us a list.
So we've definitely done a different variety of mushrooms. The only ones that I'm consciously aware of are the philosopher's stone and the penis envy, but I'm pretty sure I've had golden teachers before or something like that.
Yeah, I've had all kinds of other mushrooms too, but I don't know what the names of them were.
I've also had LSD before too, and that's really it, like, in terms of psychedelics. I have tried other, like, I would say drug-like substances, like, you know, Adderall, and I have one time tried Coke, and it was terrible. So I don't know. I was drinking that night. So, and we were at a bachelorette party.
Bad decision.
It's not an interesting drug, cocaine.
No, it's not. But there was a
but
part
you
that
learn
was
the
fun.
hard way. You learn the hard way. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. But there's this part of me that, I want to try everything. I want to try peyote. I want to try San Pedro. I want to try the bullfrog. I want to try it all, because I'm like, genuinely, for me, it's like anytime I do psychedelics, I also see it as a form of connecting to spirit, and also a form of self-study and just understanding consciousness. Like, I like to learn purely to learn. And so now that I've started this psychedelic thing, now I'm like, what else is out there? What else can I do? I would love to try DMT. I would love to do ayahuasca. I would love to have different kind of mushrooms. Like, I want to, because I want to get as close to consciousness as I can. And I also want to, I have my own questions, but I always have more questions afterwards.
Rate the experience from 1 to 10.
Yeah, that is, I do that a lot.
Radio experience, yeah.
It's also beneficial. Like, I think what we've been trying to do by doing the same, let's say psilocybin, by doing it a few times, I think you can also, it can also be very beneficial if you focus on the same substance for a while, because you kind of start learning how to go with it a bit better, right? I feel like, if we try something different, let's say, every week, I don't know how.
Oh, no, not every week.
I don't know. But definitely,
this will be my life's work. Like, this
exactly. On the long run, I think on the long run, obviously, it's interesting to try different things, and I think we're also up for that. But yeah, I think it's cool when you kind of focus on a single thing for a little bit, just so your brain gets used to it, isn't it?
Sure. Well, and you know how to like work with it too, because then you understand, okay, this is the right dose for me, or like this is the dose that really puts me into this higher realm. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I know that like a gram and a half is gonna probably put me into that similar place again if I'm in the right similar mind, right? But if I take a little less, maybe I'll have a similar experience, but maybe not as intense. Because I'm really interested in trying to use it to create art, and that's my next kind of thing that I'm going to do. We did the last trip, like 3 weeks ago now?
During the balsamic moon.
During the balsamic moon.
It's true. So the balsamic moon is technically 72 hours before the new moon, and the balsamic moon is a time where we naturally feel more sleepy, we feel more lethargic, less motivated, but also more connected to our intuition, more in our daydream kind of state. And it's essentially happens every moon cycle in order for us to kind of rest and reflect and prepare to plant new seeds after the day after the new moon, essentially.
So we thought it was the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
And Liz takes time off.
Again.
What'd you say?
I was saying, then again, you need a degree for this stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot to remember.
There's a lot that, but, and so every week, so for me, I also have another platform, A Meaningful Dream. And so every week, but I also do it for higher consciousness too, of the balsamic moon, I take that whole week off, both work-wise and on social media and whatnot. So it's one, to make a statement about not being a slave to social media, because I feel like being an internet person, there's this pressure to always like perform and create and stuff. And I also just am somebody who follows the moon and want to teach others the benefits of doing that if they choose to do so. So I take that time off, because even traditionally our ancestors during this time would take it off. Even farmers and whatnot too would, take time off, and this would be the time that they would prepare their land to. So just kind of getting back into that, and not, always being, because I know for me, like my phone and stuff, God. I got it.
Going down.
It's silicone, so it's not gonna break.
Water. Oh, it's a silicone one.
Glass, yeah. I wasn't expecting that. That's a mind fuck.
It's amazing.
Especially on.
It's really cool. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, but yeah. Anyway, so I just like, so for me, like I love psychedelics, and I always take it with the intention to grow and to learn. My favorite has definitely been shrooms, obviously, because I've had it more. But have you guys ever seen Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia before?
No,
No.
I'm not familiar. No.
Okay, do you have
What is that a book?
No,
Or-
it is a show. It is a
or
TV
show?
show
Okay.
of this chemist who essentially studies psychedelics and even also partakes in the psychedelics, and they film it.
Oh.
But he like goes back to the
Origin of
of
the
where they come from. So
psychedelics.
he goes right to the source
Yeah.
and
Wow.
like
Where can we
talks
see
to
the show?
shamans.
Yeah,
You
where
can
can-
watch it on Hulu. It's streaming on Hulu. You can watch the first 2 seasons on Hulu, and then right now they have just recently streamed season 3, so you can only watch it on Viceland, or I think it's on. No, it's just on Viceland.
Yeah, but I think
But
you
you
gotta
can
pay
also
for
buy
if you
it.
don't have cable.
Yeah,
so.
if you don't have cable, you have to pay for season 3. But season 1 and 2 are available on Hulu. He's really, and his like intro and stuff's really interesting. Like he gets really, really down to the T, so it's very science
He's
heavy.
like a
but-
master chemist, so he goes through
Yeah.
every like he and his buddy like
I love watching
synthesize a
it.
lot of this stuff in their lab, and they just show you every step of the process, and you like they do diagrams like
That's
over top
amazing.
of
I mean,
everything.
for education purposes, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's really
But I mean,
so
like he does it so fast that like I'm just watching it going.
You're just like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, yeah.
yeah. And he does it in a way like he does the show like it's a story in a
Yeah.
way. So it's not just like a regular like
It's like he's journaling
docu-series. It's
kinda
like,
way.
yeah, he's journaling his experiences, and like he'll do like some cheesy like effects and things like that every now and then. And his opening is dope as hell. Like it is so
It's all animated.
it's so
hand-drawn.
cool. He's a
It's really cool.
Taurus and I'm a Libra, so I understand we come from the same
I'll
vibe.
definitely check. So it's Hamilton's. What was the second?
Pharmacopoeia.
Pharmacopoeia. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I
that,
think
that,
you'll definitely
that sounds really
enjoy it.
cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll be
I
able to
just-
find it online.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how I want to do basically what he's doing, but more in the shamanistic spiritual sense.
That's all right. Yeah, that's so
beautiful.
cool,
Can't wait to see
actually.
your progress.
Like in
Yeah.
a few years, Lisa will be-
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
be
we'll
like,
check in
"Oh,
every
yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
Do you know what's the name that Poison Ivy?
Yeah.
From Batman, but
Yeah.
the good version, not the
Yeah.
villain version.
Yeah.
Flowers.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Very much.
That's where we're
very
headed.
much Liz.
Yeah.
For
Oh.
sure.
Yeah. It already happens. Like we'll walk outside and nature will just like attach to me, like without even trying. Seriously.
Yeah.
See? No, that's incredible. No,
Yeah.
you guys are doing amazing. I'm telling you. You have a great
Yeah.
thing going on.
Yeah.
Well, you guys too. I mean,
Yeah,
we
we
were
were
listening to
listening to-
some of your stuff, and it's awesome content.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
that
thank you. Thank you.
we
Yeah.
we're all like doing a similar thing. We're all trying to do a similar thing, and it's all gonna just.
We were talking about it yesterday. Like, actually, what's our topic? What's our thing? And we realized that in the end, what we're trying to do is find, more meaning in life. It's having more
Yeah.
fulfilling lives,
Mhm.
enlightened lives. Because obviously we go a lot into psychedelics and things about mind and consciousness, but obviously it all relates back to that, obviously. And even all the guests we had, it's about self-development
Yeah.
in a
I've
big
had, like
way.
hypnosis.
And we realize
Like-
that's our purpose with all of this. It's just meeting people that are doing cool things in life and get inspired by them and making friends. We already made so many friends all over the world. I mean,
Across the pond that we're yet
we
to
can,
meet.
we can now go to America and see you guys.
Yes!
We
And
can go
let us
to-
know when you pop over to London.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Come to
sure.
London
Yes.
soon
Yes.
when things get a bit better. Yeah, London has been
yeah.
going through a rough time,
Yeah,
I'd say,
rough
over the
patch.
past years in terms of even like crime and all of that. I think, it's been going through a rough time, but hopefully it will get better very soon.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
hope so.
I
We
too.
really believe that. I think there's some big change on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely.
How has it been like with COVID? I'm very curious, like what your experience has been being in the UK with
Well,
COVID.
Well, Diogo's been, front
Well,
line, up and center, seen it all, seen it all.
I'm an intensive care nurse, so I,
nice.
it was very tough. It was very tough. I'm not going to say it was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, really. Me and my colleagues, like going through the 2 surges, it wasn't a joke,
Right.
Yeah,
It
no.
really wasn't a joke. A lot of death, a lot of death. It's
Sure.
very sad, and but I think we're healing now. I think things are quieter now, and people are still going through a rough times. A lot of burnout, a lot of PTSD, and
Yeah.
but it's getting better. I think it's just going to take a few months for everyone to kind of recover that joy of going to work, because now it's like no one wants to be there,
No,
like no one wants to see those walls. It's just a bit weird right now to work. But yeah, that was my experience with COVID. I mean, outside of that, we had the same dramas as anywhere else with all the, are we in lockdown now? Are we not in lockdown now?
What
Now
can we
you
do?
can
What
meet
can we
one
do?
person
Yeah.
from
Go.
2 people. Next week, it can be 2, but it needs to be outside. It's just the same bullshit everywhere, isn't it? It's like they should have just closed everything in one go when it started, and that's it. That's it. No, it's like, oh, from Monday you can do this, from Monday you can do that. It's just
Yeah, it wasn't handled very well here. No. Sorry, BJ, Boris Johnson.
Boris.
Not a good job.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
you guys had Trump, like you guys had Trump, we had Boris.
Yeah. We all went through it together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also, I mean, it's still going on over there, right? You're still having a lot of cases, and
Yes.
Yeah. Michigan, unfortunately, is leading the larger number of cases right now, unfortunately. Our area.
Shame.
So, but that's the thing, is a lot of people are just relaxing and think that it's over because a lot of people are getting vaccinated, or they're vaccinated themselves, so it's no big deal. And I think that's inspiring a lot of people who maybe not already vaccinated to just relax themselves, and just treat it like, hey, it's no big deal, especially the young population, because we're getting into the, spring break time, the warmer, weather, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I think that it's just everybody's got to calm down a little still.
And I will say there's been times where maybe we should have wore a mask and we didn't, for a brief moment and stuff, and it's just
it was so confusing. I mean, in the beginning, the information, I mean, and over there I can't imagine, because over there it must be, I mean, even more complicated, because you do have a big problem at the moment with misinformation in the media and the news. It's a big issue, right? Because you hear a specialist saying wear a mask, and then you hear another specialist saying don't wear a mask.
Right.
So it's like,
It gets confusing, huh?
It gets confusing, obviously. I mean,
there's like recently I've been seeing people wearing like 2 or 3 masks, and it's like, do we need to be wearing 2 or 3 masks? Like, is this something, like, is this what makes, does that make it better? Like, but we don't know. Like, we're just seeing people like doing that, and like there's even some places where I mean, I love where we live, but at the same time I also am not in love with some of the decisions that are made. And you'll go into the stores and there's people who just aren't wearing a mask at all, and they just don't give a fuck, and like they clearly, like, they have it all, like you can tell, like they're just people, like if you do approach them, you're like going to, you feel threatened in a way.
They're
going to cough on you. You get too close.
And I mean, like, there's been times where like I saw somebody and I was like, I was like, are you gonna tell them to wear like a mask? And they're like, we can't tell them to do that. And it's like, but it's your store, what do you mean? Wait, and I don't know. So it's been really interesting. And like I said, there's been times where I think we've been lenient, but it's like confusing. But at the same time, I'm just happy to see that the weather is getting warmer, so at least we can like go outside. And I do think we're healing. I don't think we're out of it, though.
No, it's not over yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. I hope so.
Yeah. But thank you for like being at the front line and doing that. I can't imagine.
I didn't have an option.
But you did, because you could have quit. you could have stopped. You could have
Yeah.
to like let it, and you chose to still be there.
Yeah.
So you did choose to do it, and
But you know, I think
strong.
it made me grow a lot.
Yeah.
Like personally, and even, I mean, my relationship with Julieta, she's been helping me so much to cope with certain feelings when I'm outside of work. So I'm very lucky in that sense. Obviously, some of my colleagues, you know, they go home, they don't have anyone to talk to. It's, you know, it's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think I've been very lucky. But yeah, it was a tough time, and it made us grow a lot. A lot. Yeah, a lot. I mean, I feel like I've probably aged 10 years, probably. My soul. I don't know. You know, it's.
I give it 11.
You give it a lot.
That's fair enough. No, but definitely. I feel like, yeah, mentally, I feel like I've aged
It's wisdom. You
Yeah.
wisdom now,
quite a bit.
you know?
I don't know. I think you just put into in certain situations where you just kind of, you know, you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's literally like, you know, it's shit. There's nothing we can do about it. Just deal with it. And yeah,
Yeah.
it teaches you how to be resourceful and deal with stress and having to make decisions really fast on the fly. So, you know, yeah. I don't want to go back to it though.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I will probably have a third surge and a fourth surge. I don't know, but I think they're going to be milder, right? I don't think it's going to be as bad. Like the second one was, yeah. I mean, we thought the first one was bad, but the second one was, yeah, it was just
Yeah.
another level. Yeah. But anyway, we're here. Our families are here. My parents are fine. You
That's
know,
good.
parents are fine. So, you know, in the end, that's what matters. Because obviously, a lot of people, they weren't that lucky.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
kind of just need to
It makes
remember that and
nice.
don't make the same mistakes
Yeah.
one day.
Exactly.
You know, that's really the main point, because it might happen again. You know, we tend to forget things, but pandemics, it's not a new thing. It happened many times in human history, but you know, viruses that were much worse, and we can't just, once things go back to normal, we can't just let like forget about it. Hey, yeah, we're fine now.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen
No,
again,
it doesn't work that
because
way.
it'll come back. You know, it'll come back and bite you in the ass.
yeah, you got that right.
It's predicted that there'll be a different pandemic in the future. So I don't think it'll be unfamiliar for us. So
We'll see.
we'll see. But we'll see, you know, anything.
We got lucky because this virus in the end is not that bad. It's very infectious, so the numbers are very overwhelming, but it's not that bad in terms of how deadly it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine if you had something like really deadly, you know, like Ebola
Right.
deadly,
Yeah.
that would have been a absolute disaster. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, let's be optimistic.
Wow. I'd hate to end the show on that.
No,
We're
yeah,
getting pretty close to the end of the show.
We'll be all right, guys. Okay, it's not. I don't want to sound like.
But magic
but
mushrooms
this is a part of the
can
part
help
of the
us
show,
to come back together and to heal ourselves and to
100%.
especially
100%.
after a pandemic and things like that. Like mushrooms really do have that capability. See, we segued and it worked. So
It helps. It helped us a lot.
Yeah.
I think. It really did. And yeah, we'll do it a few more times.
You haven't had a trip yet, like since after, so
Yeah.
we our break's been quite long actually. So
We had a very long break with this
This
pandemic because we couldn't travel
summer.
anywhere. So it's like, but hopefully
this summer, we had a bit of time to just, you know, kind of reflect and get into the right kind of mind space, and, you know, saying it's important, and
Right.
A lot of healing.
we've got a lot of healing to do. So.
yeah. We're hoping to do one here very soon. Again,
We're trying to do it
like a monthly thing.
Right, I see.
Yeah, but I think this time we'll do a little less.
No, like I'm doing a microdose. I am not doing a full trip. I'm still processing a lot from the first trip. So I don't want to go and do like another whole trip and be like, oh my God, now
I just want to make some art, baby.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much too. Don't actually hang up when we stop the show. So we're gonna Like
We're gonna
this is still
do
in
an
the show.
outro,
Yeah, we're gonna
and
do
then,
the outro.
We're still
and
in
then
the show, guys.
We're still
We're
yeah.
still in the show.
But don't
We're
hate
still
us.
there.
We're still in.
But anyway, so Liz, where can people find us?
Well, people can find us at higher-consciousness-talk.com. And you can find all the links to our social media and everything else there because we've discussed the dashes and the underscores.
All the
the
stuff's gonna be
dots
down below anyway
yeah,
on YouTube.
it's
If you're
just
listening,
easier just
or
to go to
watching
our
on YouTube,
website,
so
yeah. And if you haven't already, subscribed and liked this too and hit the bell notification so you can stay notified of any time we upload a video, which is every Thursday. And sometimes some other ones in between.
We might have a special one coming up here soon.
Yeah, but
For a
this might,
special date.
but I think this show is gonna air before or after we do that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Meta.
I'm pretty positive.
We
so
did
it's
it
very
before and
meta.
then after. I can't even remember.
We do a lot of that
We
here
do
on
a lot
the
of this
show.
back and forth.
And we're
It's bad for a stoner. It's not good for. I can't remember.
our
Right.
brewery.
I remember regularly. So, anyway, where
But
can we find you?
Google Mostly Nothing podcast.
Google.
That's it.
We're on every
We're
podcasting
on
platform,
everywhere.
guys.
We're YouTube, Instagram. Instagram is Mostly Nothing _ podcast.
Mm.
On YouTube, if you search Mostly Nothing, it's probably the first channel that comes up. Yeah, it is. On Google, the same thing. Mostly Nothing podcast. We're everywhere.
Yeah,
Podcast
whatever
Addict,
platform you
Apple
guys
Podcasts,
use.
Spotify,
We're trying to cater for all.
Google Podcasts.
I will do my best to put some links in the
Oh, no worries. Thank you.
Thank you for having us, guys. You know, this has been
For sure.
it was great. We had such a great conversation. You know, that's what we like. We don't want it to be just like an interview. We're just exchanging ideas.
It is here.
Conversation.
Good chat.
That's great. That's absolutely great. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
watching
much.
or
And
listening.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
And I'll see you, and we'll see you the next time.
Wait. Together, ready?
Bye.
Oh.
All right. Something like that.
All right.
Bye, but don't hang up.
Don't
Bye.
hang
No.
Listen to more Higher Consciousness every Thursday on Spotify at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.